Have you ever dealt with someone so obsessed with power they try to have your spouse arrested for parking on your own property? I'm not exaggerating. A woman from our HOA actually called the police and demanded my wife be taken away in handcuffs for nothing more than standing 5 feet from our mailbox. What happened when the cops arrived? Let's just say the look on her face was priceless because she brought her own downfall and didn't even see it coming. If you've ever lived near someone who thinks a clipboard gives them royal status, this story will make your blood boil and then make you cheer. Fire before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. This is the Unshed Stories, where the HOA drama gets real, neighbors lose their minds, and justice hits hard. If you love wild revenge stories, like and share this video. We drop insane news stories every week. It all started on a crisp October morning. My wife, Lauren, and I had just pulled our navy blue SUV into the driveway of our new house in Pine View Estates, Texas. The moving truck had barely rounded the corner when chaos showed up. A woman stormed up our front path like she was charging a battlefield. No knock, no introduction, just entitlement. I'm Eleanor Harris, president of the Pine View Estates Homeowners Association. She barked, eyes locked on Lauren's SUV like it was a crime scene. I stood in the doorway, coffee trembling in my hand. Meanwhile, Eleanor was pacing in front of our car, talking loudly into her phone like she was calling in an airstrike. That's when I noticed Lauren beside me, standing perfectly still, feet shoulder-width apart, hands behind her back, spine straight as a flagpole. She wasn't angry. She wasn't scared. She looked like someone used to dealing with trouble, like she'd faced worse and won. "Good morning," Lauren said, calm but firm. "Could you please explain the legal grounds for your concern about our vehicle?" Eleanor's eyes lit up. She thought Lauren was stepping into her trap. "Legal grounds?" she smirked, flipping open a clipboard like it held divine secrets. "That SUV violates our aesthetic regulations. Vehicles of that length and color disrupt the visual balance of our community." She said it like she was unveiling the 10 Commandments. Lauren didn't blink. She leaned in slightly. "Interesting. Could you show me the clause in your bylaws that supports that regulation? I'd like to review the exact wording of any enforceable policy." Eleanor's face turned 3 shades of red, then purple. "Documentation?" she sputtered. "I am a documentation. I'm the HOA president." She practically growled. "You people need to understand. There are rules here, and I enforce them." That phrase, "you people," told us everything we needed to know. Lauren's eyes narrowed, just a fraction. A storm was coming, and Eleanor didn't even feel the first raindrop. "Rules," Lauren said evenly, "or personal preferences dressed up as law?" That one question, it hit Eleanor like a sledgehammer. "You'll regret this," she hissed, then stormed off like a general plotting her next ambush. I turned to Lauren, eyebrows raised. That was intense. She didn't look rattled. "She has no idea what she started," Lauren said, voice cool, like a chess master watching her opponent move right into a trap. 3 days later, the ambush came. A bright yellow notice was taped to our front door, "Final violation," in bold red. 2 pages of legal-sounding garbage demanding $500 in aesthetic fines within 48 hours or face legal action. I was livid. But Lauren? She read it like a crime scene report. "Fascinating," she muttered, eyes scanning the fine print. Eleanor's just made a serious mistake. That night, our home office transformed into a war room. Lauren dug into public records, HOA filings, meeting notes, anything and everything Pine View Estates had ever published. "How do you even know where to look?" I asked. She gave a small smile. "Let's just say I've had a front row seat to how local government works and how it breaks." By midnight, Lauren had typed up a 3-page rebuttal. Calm, clear, and absolutely devastating. She dismantled Eleanor's claims line by line, citing the HOA's own bylaws and even referencing state law. "How do you even get these documents?" I asked. "Public records," she replied, sealing the envelope. Eleanor just bet her ego against someone who reads the fine print. The next morning, Lauren dropped the letter in the HOA mailbox. She returned with the full Pine View governing documents, highlighted, bookmarked, annotated. Light reading. I joked. Let's just say, Eleanor's rules don't exist. Not in these pages. That afternoon, Eleanor came storming back up our driveway. Her face was flushed, our letter balled in her fist. She glared at our SUV like she was trying to blow it up with her thoughts. Then, without a word, she turned on her heel and sped off, tires screeching. Lauren only nodded. She read it. And now she knows. Her game just hit a brick wall. Saturday, things got theatrical. Eleanor returned, with backup. 3 reluctant neighbors stood beside her on our lawn. Eleanor held a portable microphone. "Attention residents," she screeched. "We are here to address a threat to our community's values." She accused us of ruining property values, of lawlessness, of being a menace. It was like watching a dictator give a campaign speech. Lauren stepped out onto the porch, navy polo, khaki pants, calm as ever. "Good morning," she said, her voice slicing through the chaos. "I appreciate Mrs. Harris gathering everyone. It gives us a chance to correct some serious misunderstandings." Then she dropped the bomb. "Mrs. Harris, who elected you HOA president? When was the vote held? And how many residents participated?" Silence. The crowd shifted. Doubt spread like wildfire. "I don't need an election," Eleanor shouted. "I founded this HOA. I have natural authority." Lauren raised an eyebrow. "If I declare myself governor of Texas and printed my own laws, would that make me the governor?" A few people laughed, but Lauren wasn't done. "What government entity granted you enforcement powers? What legal training do you have?" "I don't need approval," Eleanor snapped. "This is my community." Lauren took one step forward. "Pretending to be the law is illegal, Mrs. Harris. It's called impersonating a public official. It carries jail time." Sunday was quiet. Too quiet. Then came the flyers. Printed in bold yellow. "Community alert. Dangerous residents." Eleanor was accusing Lauren of intimidation, and she scheduled a police visit for 8 a.m. Monday. I handed the flyer to Lauren. She read it and smiled. She's about to learn the difference between threats and consequences. That night, Lauren made a few quiet phone calls. Then she laid out an outfit I hadn't seen before. Crisp white shirt, navy pants, polished black boots. "First impressions matter," she said cryptically. "Is there something about your job you haven't told me?" I asked. Her only answer was a mysterious smile. "Tomorrow, everything becomes clear." 8 a.m. sharp. Eleanor stood in her front yard, dialing 911 like she was hosting a reality show. 2 patrol cars pulled up. Officers Carter and Lee stepped out. "Officers," Eleanor bellowed. "I'm Eleanor Harris, HOA president. Arrest the woman in that house. She's impersonating authority." I stepped outside. Im nathankole. This all started because Mrs. Harris doesn't like the color or size of our car. Officer Carter nodded. "Where's your wife?" I checked my watch. "She'll be here any second." Right on cue, our SUV turned the corner. Lauren stepped out, wearing her full sheriff's uniform. Badge, radio, authority. Officer Carter and Lee immediately stood straight. "Good morning," Lauren said. "Sheriff Lauren Cole. I understand there's a disturbance." Eleanor's jaw dropped. Color drained from her face. "You're a police officer?" she whispered. "County sheriff," Lauren corrected. "And I oversee this entire county, including these officers, and about 200 others." Eleanor swayed like she'd been hit by a train. I demand she be investigated." "She entrapped me," she shrieked. But Officer Carter calmly shook his head. "Sheriff Cole has no obligation to disclose her off-duty status, and she's well within her rights to live here peacefully." Days later, a black sedan with government plates pulled up to Eleanor's home. A letter followed, a summons. Not for Lauren, but for Eleanor. Lauren had been cleared, her actions praised. But Eleanor? She was exposed. Turns out, Eleanor had been pulling the same scam in other neighborhoods, pretending to be an HOA official, extorting fines, threatening residents, and filing false complaints. Her complaint against Lauren gave investigators exactly what they needed to catch her. Eleanor Harris was arrested for fraud, harassment, and impersonating a public official. Pineview Estates? We now have a Real HOA board, voted in fairly. and Eleanor's house still sits empty, for sale, a monument to what happens when fake power meets real authority. Lauren didn't win because she shouted louder. She won because she knew the law. Eleanor lost because she believed the loudest voice makes the rules. But in the real world, truth doesn't need a microphone. It just needs someone brave enough to speak it. Bellhop Bell enjoyed this story? Then make sure you subscribe to the Unshed Stories. We've got more shocking tales coming. Real drama, true revenge, and HOA horror that'll keep you hooked. Like, share, and hit that bell icon so you never miss a single story. You won't believe what's coming next.